everybody, Chef Des coming at you. I've been an Elvis fan for a long time, ever since I was a little boy. I mean, I was only 10 when he died in 1977. But years before that, the passion for Elvis grew and grew because of my older brother. He was a big fan and he got me into it at a very early age. Here today, I'm going to give you my top 5 Elvis books. So whether you're an Elvis fan already or maybe you're thinking of a gift for somebody who is an Elvis fan, I have a whole bunch. I've been collecting Elvis books, reading about Elvis, studying Elvis for many, many years. Here's my top 5, starting from number 5, going to my top pick. So stay tuned right to the end and I'll show you my number 1 pick. A book that everybody should read, Elvis fan or not. My number 5 pick, If I Can Dream, by Larry Geller. Based on the secret diary kept by Larry Geller, his close friend, confidant, and spiritual advisor. He actually was his hairdresser, and that's how they met. He was doing his hair and they started talking about spirituality and everything. And anyway, he was actually in the Memphis Mafia. Then he was out for a bit. Then he came back in. But his take on Elvis, it comes across as really sincere. I love to hear the inside stories. And this is an original hardcover I have here. I don't believe you can buy the hardcover anymore unless you can find it at a collector's store. But I believe the softcover or Larry Geller's adapted version of this book is available with all the same stories in there, I believe. But this is a fantastic read, and what a great perspective from a guy that was really close to Elvis. Coming in at number 4 is, you got it, this is the quintessential Elvis book, Elvis and Me by Priscilla, the only woman that was married to Elvis. People will argue with me about the only person that had his child. There's these stories about children out of wedlock or whatever. Officially, Elvis's only child was made with Priscilla. So this is a great take on what a life they had together. Elvis coming from his only wife and from way back when they met in Germany up to the time she wrote this book. And it's a great read. Again, I have an original hardcover here. One of my favorites for sure. What a great insight to his world. Coming in at number 3, Elvis and Ginger. This was the woman that he was dating when he died. What an insight into the last year of his life. Somebody that was really close to Elvis. She shares some very personal secrets in this book. It's a really good read. I was really quite impressed. The stories that she can tell are incredible. And right up until the day he died, when she found him. This is a must read for everybody. Coming in at number 2, it's actually a double volume. I'm grouping this as number 2 because it's by the same author, and this is very detailed of his life. Last Train to Memphis, The Rise of Elvis Presley is the first volume. The second volume, The Unmaking of Elvis Presley. Together, you gotta buy them both together. I mean, they're a continuous story, but when I first started reading the first volume, it came across to me as it was writing it, I mean, very detailed, lots of information, but the writing style is unbelievable. And it comes across as if you're reading a movie, if that makes sense. Very entertaining, both volumes together to cover his whole life. The first years and the last years and everything in between. If you want to know anything about Elvis, these are the books to come to. My number 1 choice, coming in at number 1. Yeah, this book. I know you're probably a bit surprised. This is a book by Linda Thompson. It's called A Little Thing Called Life. Hear me out, guys. Here's why I picked this one as my number 1 Elvis book. She was the girlfriend between Priscilla and Ginger. I'm sure he had lots of other girls in between there, but the official girlfriend, she was it. And the reason why this book and why I pick it at number 1 is because not only was she the girlfriend of Elvis, but she was also married to Bruce Jenner, and went through the whole thing when Bruce Jenner decided to become a woman, and then also her marriage to David Foster. So, what an incredible life this woman has led. This is a great read. This is for anybody. And this is why I have it as my number 1 pick, because great stories about Elvis. She was a longer-term girlfriend to Elvis than Ginger was, and why they broke up in the end, how they met, and everything in between is fantastic. But to read this, even if you're not an Elvis fan, everybody knows who Elvis is. Let's face it. To have this book and read about her life between these 3 marriages is unbelievable. Man, woman, Elvis fan or not, you're going to love this book. It's fantastic, and that's why I pick it as my number 1 pick. Make sure you check out all these books. I'll have the links down below. And I'm telling you, the best books you can buy right there out of my whole collection. Thanks for watching. Hang loose.